Hey folks, how you going? It's a freezing day today in the garden, so I haven't done a lot of that, but I thought I'd come for a quick tour and show you a couple of things in the garden that I want to talk about. First is the orange tree that we've been feeding. I only had 1 feed of EcoBoost and Liquid Gold. It still looks yellow to you, but I can see a little bit of green life in the bottom of those leaves. So that's not sitting in wet feet. That hasn't got wet feet, so we don't have to lift that one up. We've composted it, we've fertilized it, we've mulched it around, so we've just got to be patient for the good weather to come. So you've got to be able to distinguish the difference between wet feet and a plant that's basically malnourished. Now, the other one I want to talk about, speaking about malnourished plants, is English box. Now, I don't speak about it a lot, but no doubt you've noticed a bit of it in the background here around me. We've got all sorts of English box going on, so come along, have a look at all this here. This is my little nightmare. If you like, for those of you who love pruning English box, you're welcome to come over and help me anytime you like. This is one part of the job that I really dread doing, but I have to do it. Now you can see a little bit of life in these plants here. They're okay. It's sort of a dark green and an olive green leaf coming up on the new one, and that's because of the cold weather. But English box, really, in this time of the year, from autumn to mid-winter, late winter, they discolour, especially if they're in an open environment. They cop a lot of wind and a lot of frost on them. This cops a lot of frost, well, not a lot of frost, a bit of frost on it, but it's quite tolerant. It's pretty good. It's holding its colour. But let me show you a plant that's discoloured, or a hedge of English box that I've got that's discoloured because of the frost and malnourishment. Yeah, you, all the time. Come on, have a look at them. These are the English box that I was referring to, folks. Discolouring. Now, these are what we call bronzing off because of the cold weather, because of the lack of nutrients in the soil and all that. So yeah, I haven't fed these enough, and they've copped a beating too. These need to be fed up, and they need a blood and bone base, and now EcoBoost has got all that in it. It's probably the quickest way to feed them up, by spraying it onto the foliage, and a handful of black grit around each plant, if you can, to water in, is what these plants need to green them up again, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So discoloration can happen for a number of reasons, but if you can't work it out, don't distress, as long as it's not a disease or an insect that's attacking your plants. And you can see over there, it's nice and green. Come over here, have a look at this. It's nice and green over there, and the side here, it's a bit greener here on the side as well, and that's because frost is settling on top. So cold weather will discolour your plants, whether they're English box, Dutch box, or Japanese box. This is what will happen to them. So it's quite open over there, where here it's a little bit more protected. You can see even the new growth is coming through as well. So we're going to feed up that side a bit more so we can get that to green up a lot quicker. And even if you don't, by spring, summertime, most of that should start coming through with new green growth. So if your English box is discolouring, get some black grit into it and water it in with some EcoBoost. From me, Vasily, Maresi.